Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this last closure webinar on our long Idaho campaign that we've been doing for the past 2 weeks. This is the 12th webinar that we're having, and it's not going to be that dense content-wise, but it will just serve to determine the follow-up and the way forward with all the actions that we've done so far. We presented it at the beginning, but we're gonna go through it again. And Carlos, who will be the one taking over the tasks together with Jenna on how to create the advocacy booklets, will explain you more about the aim of the creation of these booklets and how we want to use them for the future in terms of advocacy or even capacity building among our members on the topics that we tackled during this past campaign. So next slide, please, Vivian. So just to put you in touch a bit with the objectives that we determined during the beginning, we wanted to engage patients, medical students, faculties, medical professionals, and key stakeholders to develop sustainable relationships and actions to advocate for the inclusion of LGBTQ+ health and wellness in medical education around the world. So that's the main goal, the vision that we had for this campaign. And we started with Idaho as a capacity building event, creating the different webinars, providing you with the platform, then get involved in the creation of these toolkits, and then advocate and try to pass on that information into all these stakeholders that we mentioned at the beginning. So next slide. And we presented you first with the timeline. Some of the topics changed a bit, but these are the 11 webinars that we've done so far, without including this one. And I must say that they went really, really, really well. They cover a lot of ground and a lot of different topics. And I think that we achieved our goal of creating this event as really capacity building oriented. So if you really haven't seen or watched many of them, you should check them out as they contain a lot of precious and valuable information for you. We covered topics from health of LGBTQ+, mental health of LGBTQ+ people to LGBTQ+, social determinant of health, and then we talked about homophobia. We had an amazing introductory webinar by Carlos, and a second webinar by Jenna as well on history of the LGBTQ+ movement. So as you see, there's a lot of variety and a lot of diversity in the different things that we've tackled. And I believe that it can really provide you with a base if you want to get involved in the development of the booklet. So next. And this is the timeline that we presented to you at the very beginning. As you see, we wanted to have webinars and the Idaho Day, which is actually today, and then create working groups in advocacy toolkits. The webinars were a huge success. I think that also, the success was fueled a bit by the profile picture change. Today is our sign day, the Idaho May 17th, and there's a lot of buzz going around this campaign, not only from our actions, but also in a national and local level, and there's a lot of people trying to get involved, not only by changing the profile picture change. So I think that that in terms of success, we can say that we accomplished what we actually wanted to achieve. And now it's time to put all this motivation, to put all of these build capacity, to put everything together and proceed with the timeline that we were aiming towards, which is the creation of some working groups with different regional representatives that they can then create these advocacy booklets that can serve as a method to archive the success that this campaign was and to bring it really to life throughout the span of the upcoming years. Because I think that if done properly, this can be a tool that can be used for the next campaigns, if not 2 or 3, maybe just the next one or the next 2 ones. So basically, what I'm gonna do is put you not in touch. Sorry, just tell Carlos to sorry. tell Carlos to continue with this presentation and this webinar and explain to you specifically what is the way forward, how we want to proceed, and how it will work. I wanted to mention as well that we sent out some evaluation surveys in which you can sign up for the working groups, but I think that he will mention this later on, and that all the webinars are in YouTube, so you can watch them. And if you actually feel like joining a bit later and not right now, the call for the working groups will be open for a while. But as I said, like Carlos will let you know about the details on this, and then we will proceed with the official closure of this campaign, which has given us a lot of how to say it, like headaches, but also a lot of feeling of accomplishment and success. I believe that we really reached the goals that we set up. But I will let you with Carlos and his typical motivational speech, and I hope that you can all join the working groups, and then we can find a way to use and abuse, like we say in SCORA, this campaign for the better, and to actually reach the final stage of our timeline. So, Carlos, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I didn't know my typically motivational. Thanks for the like noise. I'm just looking up as well. So now what we're working on is I wanted to that actually like join and looking for I don't know, our family all over the world. Have like a few next steps to take on. The idea of the whole campaign was actually like creating a capacity building to the fact that we wanted to know more, or let's say explore more things, or explore more characteristics that we will use in future years, because it doesn't stop here. As we know, gender identity and sexuality evolves, you know, and rotates, and I don't know, changes, and it's maintained in a constant movement, and so we must be in a constant movement as well. So we need to always question ourselves, always educate ourselves about different aspects, different things that are there, you know, and how can we act differently each time. So I don't know if there's a next slide, if I'm supposed to, like, or we
no,
just like.
There's no next slide.
Ah, okay, perfect. I didn't know actually. So okay, what we're going to do next then, it's like the outcome. So why do we do like this whole like deep building event if we are not being able, let's say, to explore those things that we learn? So this is why we created the advocacy booklet, or the small work them, and it is because now we need to like put ourselves into action. And by doing this, I mean like actually actively advocating for LGBT rights within our colleges, universities, with our peers, with our families, with our micropolitic, let's say, environment. And in order to do this, we like had the idea that we should do the manuals, one per region, or we don't know yet. We're going to see what comes out of the small working groups that actually help people in their region advocacy towards LGBT rights in medical education. The reason why medical education is because like that closest reality, simply because of that, simply because let's say probably one of the aspects that can change probably because of things that can change, that we can change, is definitely medical education. So yeah, that's basically it. For those of you who left your email in the response, of the webinars, then we will talk to you and try to build this with you guys. Um, the idea is to create a comprehensive manual, not only for medical students, but also like for teachers, and more formal authorities, let's say. I think that's it that I had to. Carlos?
Okay, so you were sorry, you were cutting off a bit and I couldn't like hear the ending. As we mentioned, this is a closure webinar. It's not meant to provide you with a lot of content. It will be kind of short, as you may have foreseen. But we wanted to also to remind you that after all this like effort that has been done, and after like all of you joining day after day and watching the webinars, you can still like keep the wheel spinning and keep staying involved if you let us know about it. In the description of this video, there will be the evaluation form. We will be also like sending it out through the SCORA server and posting it on the Facebook SCORA Facebook wall. And we really need your feedback, and we really need you to fill that in and to let us know whether you want to participate on the way forward. As Carlos was saying, it's something that can be helpful. That can provide us with tools to keep working on this for the upcoming years, and we really need your help for that. It's basically something that not one single person or two people can do, but just like joining efforts of people from different countries, from different backgrounds, different regions, can only be achieved. So reminder, please watch all the webinars in the playlist that we will provide you. Some of them are quite long, but some of them are a bit shorter. So if you are running short on time, then you can just like watch the smallest ones. And also, please evaluate us. Let us know what you thought, your suggestions, and join for the working group so we
Can I add something else?
people. I'm not on yet. So we can have people that can actually help us with our goals. As Jenna did, like during the second webinar, we also really want to thank you for the logistical support that we've had from our development assistant, from Vivian. All the banners that you saw, all the posts with the links to the YouTube channel or to the Hangout event were done by her, and it took her quite a lot of time. So I must say that she was probably the core member of this group, trying to make everything function properly. And of course, like the masterminds behind this like great idea, which were Carlos and Jenna, like it has been mentioned before, and all the speakers, the externals. Please check out the webinars. Most of them are really good. And Carlos, like, what did you want to say?
I don't know, or understand the message you can drop. You don't need that webinar is showed, because it's just like a part. We are conscious, like we are conscious about that as well. Like there's a lot of other things to speak about, and probably we will have further years and further campaigns to do. So two things that made us grow.
I cannot hear you. Like you sound cut off.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to thank all the questions, and just tell people that they don't need to agree on everything. That have like with them, but we like future opportunities make it better. And for I don't know if you being a great try, you guys like could hear me and have like
Okay, so having said this, like we would also like to open the floor for questions. So please leave them in the comments on the YouTube video. If you have any inquiries on how to proceed and whether you want to be involved on how much amount of work this will take, we will make sure that all your questions are answered properly by the people responsible. And other than that, again, like thank you on behalf of the IDAHOT team, on behalf of the SCORA International team. This was something that we had never done before and that we were a bit scared of doing in terms of workload, but it ended up being like way easier and went more smoothly than we had expected. Um, and that's all. I also wanted to try to leave the floor to Vivian in case she wants to say something.
Okay, so I'm really grateful to be on this team and to be working with you guys. I haven't really like talked much, but I've participated in most of the webinars, and I I just want to say that I feel like we've like Carla said, we've achieved what this project, what this campaign set out to do, and that it's it's like it's capacity building and it's empowerment. So now like the future steps, it's gonna be for the people who signs up to help with the booklet, and for people who want to do more in their NMO or in their like local community. And so like this is a space to think about different aspects of this topic. And now it's like it's your turn to do things. I'm not sure if I'm making it clear, but I like as I listen to every webinar, I really do feel like I was learning new things. So I think that the other participants and SCORA Angels probably feel the same way as well. So it's really important that we not just learn things, that we actually put it into action. And it's now the time for you to start. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian. So you've heard her. Please reply to our survey. Please join in, and we can make something great out of this, which was already, from my side, pretty good. Thank you, and see you in the next one.